everyone, in this video we are going to talk about how to solve systems of equations if one of the equations is a quadratic or a parabola and the other equation is a linear equation. So they are gonna, on the coordinate plane, they are going to look like the linear one. The first one, for example, is gonna be like a line that goes down. It should be steeper than that. Let's just fix that. A line that looks like this, sort of, and the other quadratic is going to be an upward graph. And then if we extend this right here and then that one, they are going to meet at 2 points. We are going to find the coordinates of that point and this point and then fill out the boxes. That's the logic behind it. Now let's get started. So I'll first use the actual method. I'll do it by hand and then I'll show you a shortcut. So what basically you need to do is substitution in here. We know the value of y equals to this, and it also equals to that. So they are equal to the same thing. They're equal to each other. So if we set them up equal to each other, like x squared minus 26x plus 18, and set it up to the other value of y, negative 41x minus 18. And then we should solve this equation. So step 1, let's see. Since there's only one x squared and it's on the left side, I'm going to leave it over there and then put the x's together. I'll combine the x values. Let me see. Yeah. So if we combine the x values, see. Okay, so let's just add 41x to each side. Right here, I'm going to convert it into a quadratic. I'm going to look for the value of x's and then I will plug them in to find the value of y's. So, and then after this, I drop down everything else. X squared goes down, combine negative 26 plus 41. That's positive 15. X plus 18, drop the equal and the right side. Now I want to put the number on the right side to the left by doing its inverse. This question is going to take a while. Like if you want to do it by hand, it is going to take a while. And then drop down everything. X squared plus 15x plus 36 equals to 0. Now this is a quadratic equation. I have a shortcut to solve this. If you are unfamiliar with what I am doing, you might want to look up solving quadratics or factoring quadratics in my YouTube channel. That way you can get used to what I am doing over here. So I'll break down that x squared. It is x times x, and then 36. I'm trying to break it down so the sum of the two numbers that I pick is equal to positive 15. That's the rule. So if my numbers are positive 12 and positive 3, when I multiply them, I'm trying to end up with 36, which works. And then when I add these two numbers, 12 and 3, I want to end up with positive 15. That's what I'm looking for, and there's going to be only one thing, one pattern that you can end up with this. So once you have that pattern, you add the numbers, you get the one in the middle with its sign, positive 15. Multiply them, you got to get the last number. If you do, then just pair the first line together and second line together. So set them up, not set them up, write them as factors, x and positive 12 next to each other, and then x plus 3 equals 0. If you have a graphing calculator and if you know how to use, let me just grab my calculator, because using one of these, you can factor out quadratics. It's pretty simple. If you just look it up online, like this calculator, let me see what it is. FX115ES plus. So it basically factors out quadratics for you. You just type the numbers in front of x squared, x, and the number in the end, and then it tells you what the answers are going to be. So now this is called zero product property. And again, if you don't know what to do at this point, you might want to just use the search bar in my channel and then just type zero product property. Watch one or two examples. At this point, this first is going to give me the solution x equals -12, and then solve that one by setting it up to 0. The solution is going to be this. Now I have two x values. One of them is -12, the other one is -3. I need to plug them into either one of the equations, doesn't matter, and then find y values. So the first x is -12, right? And then the second one is -3. Now I need the y values of those. So let's just say x equals 12. Okay, let's just -12. Let's plug this in and then find the value of y. The first equation looks simpler to me. So y equals, I'm going to rewrite the first equation, -41 times -12 minus 18. I'm glad that I just grabbed the calculator. I didn't plan it. Okay, times -12, multiply those numbers and then subtract 18. It equals to 474. Okay, so if I plug in -12, the value is going to be 474. What about the other value? What about x equals -3? Let's just plug this in. So the equation becomes y equals -41 times -3 minus 18. So if I multiply these two, I get 123 minus 18 is 105. So the y value in that case, if I plug in -3, would be 105. So we just submit them and then move on to the next question. Let me just type them in. Y equals, since the numbers look weird, I don't want you to think like I just made them up, 474. The next line is going to be -3 and then 105. Let's see. Yep. So we got that question right. And then let me show you what other ways you can confirm if your answer is right. So let's get on Desmos. Let's use that graphing calculator. I'll just open a new tab and then get on Desmos graphing calculator. If you don't know what this website is, just Google Desmos. It'll show you what it is. And then in each one of these lines, you can write your equations. Y equals x squared. Just make sure that it is exactly the same, plus 14. Okay, let me just get rid of this and then keep zooming out. You see, this is the first graph. Y equals 5x minus 4. Y equals 5x minus 4. So they are going to touch each other at 2 points. Those are my solutions. Remember, like these two boxes over here, x and y, x and y. So let's just check one of the points. -3, -19 is our first solution. And then the other one, -3, -19, let's put it in. -3, -19. And then the next point is -6, -34. -6, -34. And in here, it says write the coordinates in exact form, simplify all fractions and radicals. So don't put any decimals. That's the first thing. It doesn't say you can put your answers in the form of a decimal, so just avoid that. And then I'll show you how you can convert your decimals into fractions using Desmos. Let's say our decimal is 32.26, okay? What's the decimal fraction value of this? If you just hit this button, it shows you the fraction value, so you don't make any mistake, and then it shows you the simplest form. Let's say you ended up with 12/24. You can simplify this fraction, but this shows you the decimal value. If you just hit this over here again, let me just switch these two. If you just hit this fraction button, it tells you the simplest form of the first fraction that you typed in. So basically, with all of these questions where you have one quadratic and one linear, you can just use Desmos to test out your answers. There's no other level. As you see, this is the teacher interface. I cannot jump another level because all of the questions are exactly the same. So either do it by hand, put all of the variables and numbers together so that you have a 0 on the other side, and factor the quadratic out. Then you'll end up with 2x values. You'll plug them in. In this example, it would be easier if you plug the first and second x values in that second equation to find your y's. But looking at the answer, there's only one x value that you're going to end up with. They're going to be the same. So, or type them in on Desmos. You will see the point of intersection. That's going to be your answer. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. I will see you in another video.